Every game on this list found a different way to weaponize trust. 5 games, 5 completely different approaches to lying, deceiving, and betraying the people you're playing with. And somehow, everyone has a great time doing it. From office politics to outer space, these are the best betrayal games you can play right now. Let's count them down. Kicking off at number 5, Perfect Heist 2. It's $3.99 right now with a 60% discount, and it holds a 92.9% rating from over 3,500 reviews. This is an online, round-based game for up to 10 players where one team plays as robbers and the other as cops. The twist? The robbers have to hide in plain sight. You blend in with the NPC civilians walking around a bank, matching their patrol routes, mimicking their idle animations, looking like part of the scenery. And then, when no cop is watching, you strike. Grab the cash, take out a guard, blow the vault, sprint for the exit. One player put it perfectly. The thrill of acting as a bot and killing the cops when they aren't looking and then running. That's the whole pitch right there. The cops, meanwhile, are scanning the crowd for anyone behaving a little too deliberately. One wrong twitch and you're busted. One correct read, and you've just ruined someone's perfectly choreographed disguise. The tension ramps fast once both sides know what they're doing. There's a real learning curve here. Experienced players will read newcomers like a book. But once you internalize the NPC patterns and start experimenting with different classes and wacky combos, the game opens up into something genuinely competitive. The dedicated servers stay active and the community is tight-knit. Players with hundreds of hours are still grinding. At under $4, this is the cheapest entry on the list and one of the most chaotic. If you've ever wanted to cosplay as a background NPC while secretly orchestrating a bank robbery, welcome home. At number 4, Dale and Dawson Stationery Supplies. Yes, it's named after a stationery company, and it's one of the best social deduction games on Steam right now. $7.99, 91.7% positive from over 7,500 reviews, supporting 4 to 10 players per lobby. The setting is an office. Some players are specialists. They have real work to do. Some are slackers, pretending to work while secretly sabotaging everything. And one player is the manager, trying to figure out who's actually contributing and who's been faking productivity this whole time. If this sounds suspiciously like your actual job, that's kind of the point. The genius is in the overlap. Everyone has tasks, and some of those tasks look identical whether you're a specialist or a slacker. Innocent players end up looking guilty. The manager becomes this political figure everyone's trying to win over. Schmooze the boss, throw your coworkers under the bus, whatever it takes to survive the next meeting. And the interactivity goes deep. You can print threatening messages, send passive-aggressive emails to specific people, draw crude doodles, rearrange desks to block hallways. And yes, you can pet the office cats. One reviewer called it genuinely funny and said, lying through your teeth to your boss and colleagues never gets old. Public lobbies are active and surprisingly welcoming to newcomers, which is a rare thing for social deduction. The mundane setting does so much heavy lifting here. There's something deeply hilarious about workplace betrayal played completely straight. You're building a case against Dave from accounting because you're almost positive he hasn't touched a single spreadsheet all day. The stakes are absurdly low, and that makes the social tension absurdly high. $8. Brilliant. Coming in at number 3, Town of Salem. $4.99, 7 to 15 players per lobby, and after 12 years, it's still pulling full games. Let that sink in for a second. Town of Salem drops you into an online lobby where everyone gets a secret role. Some are townsfolk trying to survive. Some are killers operating in the shadows. Every night, people die. Every day, the survivors argue about who did it, and then vote to execute someone. The social deduction runs deep. Dozens of roles, all with different abilities and allegiances, creating a web of lies so tangled that even the people telling the truth sound suspicious. One player with 635 hours described it as paranoia, courtroom drama, and social deduction speedrunning in the same sitting. 600 hours, still playing. That tells you everything about the kind of game this is. Meanwhile, another player confessed they bought items to increase their chances of getting a town role because being evil was too stressful. The lying was too much for them. Honestly, that might be the highest compliment a deception game can receive. The community has kept town of Salem alive through sheer dedication. Lobbies fill reliably, veterans teach newcomers, and every single match tells a different story. A courtroom drama where your 5-second defense speech might save your life or seal your fate. The social pressure of a live vote where everyone's watching you stumble over your alibi. Those moments are electric. With an 88% rating from nearly 31,000 reviews, this is the veteran of PC social deduction. Released in 2014 and still going strong. The learning curve is real. There are a lot of roles to absorb, but that depth is exactly why people are still here a decade later. The clutch lie, the perfect accusation, the dramatic last-second reveal. Those moments stick with you long after the lobby closes. At number 2, it's GNOSIA, $24.99, and this one earns every penny. GNOSIA is a single-player social deduction game. Let that land for a second. The lying, the accusations, the paranoia, the betrayal, all happening between you and a cast of AI characters trapped on a drifting spaceship. Some of them are GNOSIA, alien imposters who eliminate one crew member each night. Every loop you debate, accuse, defend, and vote. Then the loop resets, roles shuffle, and you go again and again. Each character has a distinct personality. Over dozens of loops, you start learning their tells. How they argue when they're guilty versus when they're scared. How they deflect, who they protect. You level up your own stats: persuasion, logic, charm, stealth, which changes how effectively you can lie or sniff out lies. And the story unfolds through that repetition. Character moments unlock across cycles. Relationships deepen. A larger mystery slowly reveals itself, rewarding your patience with genuine emotional payoffs. One reviewer called it the greatest social deduction game ever made. They were talking about the single-player one. GNOSIA holds a 93.9% rating from nearly 4,500 reviews, the highest on this entire list. Players are logging 20 to 30 hours and coming away genuinely surprised. Even people who assumed werewolf-style games only hold their attention for a few rounds found themselves completely hooked by the character writing and the slow burn narrative. The betrayal here is intimate and quiet, a slow conversation between you and characters you'll grow to care about, even as they lie to your face and you lie right back. The most expensive game on this list, but also the most emotionally rich. Proof that deception doesn't need a party. Sometimes the most devastating betrayal is the one you navigate entirely alone. And at number 1, Among Us. $2.99 right now with a 40% discount. A 91.9% positive rating from over 638,000 reviews. 4 to 15 players. And after all these years, still the game that defines the genre. Among Us puts you on a spaceship where most of the crew runs around completing tasks, and one or more imposters quietly murder everyone while pretending to help. When a body gets found, the whole crew meets to argue about who did it. Accusations fly, alliances form and shatter in seconds. Innocent people get launched into the vacuum of space because they were, quote, acting weird near electrical. One player wrote, "Made friends from it and probably will lose them all because of it at some point." That's the whole game in one sentence. What makes Among Us endure is its simplicity. The rules take 30 seconds to explain. The tasks are dead simple. Everything mechanical is stripped back so far that all that's left is the human element. Reading people, bluffing, panicking, doubling down on a lie you know everyone is starting to see through. That raw social friction is where every memorable moment lives. A 10-year-old and a 30-year-old can sit in the same lobby and both have the time of their lives because the skill isn't mechanical, it's emotional. Years of updates have added new maps, new roles like the shapeshifter and engineer, a hide-and-seek mode, and mountains of cosmetics. The community is still enormous, but all of that orbits the same core loop. Someone in this room is lying, and you have about 60 seconds to figure out who. Among Us proved that the simplest possible version of "someone here is a liar" could become one of the biggest games on the planet. Every other entry on this list carved out a clever, inventive angle on betrayal. Among Us found the purest one, and at $3, there's still no cheaper way to destroy a friendship. 5 games, 5 very different flavors of betrayal. Links are in the description if any of these caught your eye. Go ruin some friendships. Responsibly, of course. And if you enjoyed this one, a like or a subscribe goes a long way. See you in the next one.